Hey guys, so before we dive into this week's check-in, I wanted to do a quick little tour around the place, show you where we've moved, and then we'll dive into all of my data. So let's go and check out my new place. Okay, so here is our place. We've got quite a few things that still need to go into storage. I had a much bigger house earlier, so anyhow, this is the view, but in 24 hours, no, Miss Ray, okay, well, you can come out. We won't be here because there is a Category 5 hurricane V-lining for Tampa Bay, and the last hurricane, Hurricane Helene, all of this was underwater, like all of it. Most of the homes and properties all along the coast were decimated. So we're in a flood. It was an A, I think it's Zone A flood zone. So unfortunately, we would probably be evacuating. Inside, please. Come on, inside. You too. Okay, quick. Come on. Okay. So, got our kitchen. I can't believe I have managed to unpack everything for this area. I have to go and put these into storage. My piano. But it's got such an awesome view at night time. It looks just beautiful. Go check out the bedroom. What's up, Kay? Still nothing's unpacked, but we have another really nice big floor-to-ceiling window, and again the city skyline looks so awesome. I can't wait for Christmas time. It'll be even better. What's up, Jerry? Hi, little buddy. My favorite kind of mirrors. We've got this great, I guess, a shower with a seat. So this is it. I have so much stuff to unpack. So office. So this is up on the 31st floor. So this is a couple of levels above us, but they have a big open kitchen area which looks up the other direction of the river. It's so nice. It's green. It smells amazing. Everything's been brought in from outside because of the hurricane, but this is the view up here. Go take a quick look. Oh, maybe it's locked. Yeah, it's locked. Smart. So this is the top of the building. Oh. Babe, did you see the size of the TV over there?
Yeah.
We should probably come and watch a movie out there since we're like hardly anybody in this building. What? Oh yeah, this is so nice.
The color stuff too, right?
Yeah, it's really modern. I love that style. I would invert it as well. I think I'd like white and black marble. I have ridiculous taste. Anything that's like novel and new. Yeah, it's nice. And the big floor-to-ceiling windows. I mean, you've got to have it with a view like that. Okay. So here's the sauna I was talking about, and then the steam room. So this is all available for guests. Look how massive that is, and it's got a giant window out there. I kind of want to go in. Ooh, you can feel the warmth. Plunge pool. Do you want to press the button? Tricky. So someone's in there, right?
Oh,
Maybe. Well, they might have closed it because of the hurricane. Who knows? Anyway, hey, next stop is the fitness center. We can get in. So this is also on the 31st floor.
indicative. Oh, what a terrible place to come and work out in, guys. This is so motivating. I've got like basically the same view as our kitchen, but the whole building is wrapped in windows. And this is the first gym that I've ever had in a condominium or a building like this that has a glute abduction machine. They've got a really good variety of equipment. And they have a massive sauna, like, I don't know, huge. This is one of. This is an infrared room. So a whole room of infrared just in there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So that is the gym. I am going to record some of today's session and then I guess we'll take a look at my update. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. It's another week. 2 or 3 weeks have passed actually since we did our last update. So lots of things have happened. Things have been super crazy, but all good things. So this past weekend, Sam and I relocated. So obviously you guys know I was in Fort Lauderdale, a beautiful beachside town, which I absolutely adore. But I sold my house, finally closed, and we, I guess over 3 days, moved everything back to Tampa, to my new home here in Tampa with Sam, which is super exciting. I think I said on social media a couple of days ago, I am more excited, or I was more excited about moving here together than I was when I bought my house in Fort Lauderdale. So super positive. I'm very excited to see kind of what this new chapter brings, but massive caveat here for this weekend's travel. There is another major hurricane heading straight for Tampa. So I think everybody that lives in Florida, I mean, I've been here since 2017. You kind of, every hurricane season, you kind of brace for impact and you get a lot of wild and crazy weather. I've lived right on the water too previously in one of my other houses here in Tampa. And I think that particular neighborhood was like Fort Knox. It didn't even lose power, whereas other parts in Tampa did not fare so well. So this place that we've just moved into is, goodness, probably, I'm gonna say 100 to 200 feet from, I guess, the Tampa Bay. There's a beautiful river walk that kind of goes all the way around Tampa. So it's exposed to a large body of water. And Hurricane Helene, which was just here, no less than a week ago, basically, it devastated most of the coastline. Areas that don't normally flood were completely underwater. In fact, while we were out looking for properties, one of the weekends we went for a drive around several of the other neighborhoods, and there were water like all the way up to like midpoints of garages in places that I would never have expected to be underwater. So it was a little bit scary. And then this hurricane, it's due to arrive, I think, tomorrow evening, Wednesday, late evening, early into the Thursday morning, is supposed to be much worse because it's a direct hit. So all of the other hurricanes that we've had, it's kind of just like you're getting the peripherals of the storm. You're not getting the eye of the storm, and this one is heading straight for us. So we are kind of waiting until maybe sometime later this afternoon to see if there are any updates. It's meant to slow down as it gets closer and closer to the west coast of Florida. But I guess the span of this thing is enormous. If you look at it on the map, it is like twice the size of all of Florida. Like, it is just insane. I think the wind speeds were up to 180 miles per hour. And I believe that's kind of in like the top 5 of all time ever recorded hurricanes. So we have been a little bit nervous about it. I don't think we have any issues of our safety like in our building. It's more, will the power go out? We're on the 28th floor, so they're turning off the elevators, I believe, tomorrow morning. So, we have Ray, our little puppy, and I mean, if she wanted to go to the bathroom, that's a lot of stairs. So, not only that, there is risk of flooding. I think, I'm not exactly sure how close we are to the waterline, but the predictions are like 15 feet of storm surge, which is basically how much the water will kind of bring in, and that's getting awfully close to the very front doors of this building. So
yeah, I think we're probably going to play it safe and go a little further inland. So Sam's property where he was living, we're still like leasing that. So we have a little bit more time in that place. So we kind of moved most of the things down to our new home together, but we still have that property. So we may just pop back out and stay there and ride out the storm for the couple of days. And I still obviously have to work. So to not lose power would be great. So we might have a better chance of surviving, I guess, with power if we go back there. So I'm just like, oh my God, we just got all our animals together. And Pepper, you know, the one that lost, ran away, was a stray for a year, he came back. He is a psychopath, but he's so sweet and like terrified of everything. Like he's not a nasty cat at all. He's just so scared. So anyway, the first trip you heard about that, we had to like corner him, trap him. He's like flying squirrel, trying to get him into the cage. This time was much easier. We basically cornered him under a bed and like set up a little spot for him to kind of run into. And it was significantly more efficient. I think it took us like 10 minutes to get him this time. The other two cats are like, yeah, whatever. I hate traumatizing the cats because they're just, well, especially he hates, like, it's just horrible. So I don't want to move them again. I think Sam and I are good. It's like a 40-minute drive, but 30 minutes maybe, I'm not sure. The traffic is looking insane on the highway right now. So yeah, part of me wanted to stay here and like brave it out and, you know, just make sure we've got all our supplies, have some candles, some lights, make sure that we've got enough food and water, you know, in case we can't get out. Yeah, it would look pretty cool where you'd be able to see the storm from the 28th floor, but, you know, safety, practicality, might end up taking priority over seeing a really cool storm. But so that's kind of what's been going on. I just feel like I haven't stopped. The last couple of weeks, I've also restructured our business. So I've actually dissolved the coaching, I guess, arm or branch of our team. So I obviously still coach, but I've restructured how we're doing things. So we're kind of focusing now on our products and services. I'm going to be focusing on DIY challenges. Some of you might even be involved in our 50K challenge that kicked off just yesterday. I think there are like 2 more days left. I know you guys, if you're watching this now, you can't register. It's closed. It was, I think, Friday. The 10th of October was the final day that we were letting people come in. So maybe you'll get this, I don't know. But if it's not the 10th already and you're seeing this and you still want to register for the Empower 30 Plus challenge, you can do that. But we're going to be focusing on that type of model, I think, and then just one-on-one coaching with the work that I do. So there's just been a lot of position shifts, kind of dissolving a team means unfortunately dissolving staff, and then there's the handover, and then I step back in obviously to take over some of those positions as we bring on, you know, new staff. So it's just been so much to handle, hence why I pulled out of my competition. So I don't think that I would have been able to focus on that. But let's talk about my data, because I've been honestly so proud of how I have been able to navigate the last couple of weeks, despite literally feeling like a goldfish out of stress. You know, when you're extremely stressed, I think all of your cognitive capacity like declines, and I have found myself, not only do I have ADD, so like if something's not sitting in front of me or I don't have a spot where I keep things, I really struggle with like remembering where things are. So since moving, obviously, there are no places, there's no routine, there's no consistency where I leave my keys, although I did unintentionally find the other day when we started moving stuff in, I was leaving my keys, my phone and my wallet like in one spot on a specific shelf. Didn't realize this, but Sam was like, yeah, it turns out this is where your new spot's gonna be for all of your stuff. So anyway, I just have felt so just like a spaz, like stupid. So I'm looking forward to some stability, because I do not function when I don't have like a normal regimen and I'm just moving around and, you know, lots of change. I think everybody struggles with that. I just find that I have to work exceptionally harder to stay focused, you know, during lots of disruption. I just thrive in an environment where I can be a little bit more stable and predictable, but hey, we're managing. So yeah, very proud of how things have been going, at least in terms of my commitment to health. I wouldn't say that things are optimal at the moment. Even my training obviously has not been a number one priority. I've been still trying to move my body and prioritize again still the muscle groups that I care about the most, which are obviously the glutes and the shoulders. So I have a pretty consistent way of doing things when I go into the gym just to keep it easy. But I want to go over my data, so I'm going to pull up my spreadsheets on the screen for you so that you can take a look with me. I've written them down right here so that I can go through it and do it with you. So going back to the last 2 weeks, so we're talking September the 23rd through to the 29th. So this is, I guess, a 2-week recap. I'm doing these bi-weekly now rather than weekly, just because there's less to talk about. But obviously this week's kind of crazy with the hurricane. But yeah, we go over and have a look at the column with all of my totals for exercise. This past week I did 4398 calories of energy expenditure across all of my exercise. And that was a combination of 4 lifting sessions that I got in. I did 2 spin classes or spin sessions on my bike, and they were around 30 to 40 minutes each. And then I managed to get in about, looks like 5 out of 7 days walking. A couple of those days I wasn't able to get out and do anything because I had meetings scheduled with our new assistant and just different, processes and things that I had to kind of relearn again because it's been so long since I was actively involved in like the management of our company. I obviously kind of oversee, big decisions, but I haven't been involved in like, setting up pay cycles and onboarding, new staff in a little while. So that has been a bit more time consuming. So I haven't been able to prioritize activity quite as much as I normally would. So the fact that I still got 4,398 calories of energy expenditure across those modalities, I was very happy with that. And I think that reflects my current body weight. So I'm still maintaining, and I must be 11 weeks post-show now, so we're talking 3 months since I last competed. I'm still at 140 pounds, so I've gained about 8 pounds in total, 7 to 8 pounds. It kind of fluctuates, which I think is great. I could afford to still put on a little bit more body fat, I think, in efforts to kind of be considered like still healthy. I'm not unhealthy right now, though I can't give you any, hard objective data because I haven't had my blood work done in a while. So my most recent, I think, testosterone checks were maybe 10 weeks ago, just 11, maybe 8 to 10 weeks ago. I think it was shortly after my last competition. And my testosterone levels were back at, I think, 45 micromoles per deciliter, which it's not great to be honest, but I also haven't had any hormone replacement therapy either in, probably 6 months. I've just been too busy to get back to my physician. So I can't really tell you whether or not I'm sitting in a healthy space. I think, from a physical perspective, I feel fine other than being extremely tired from all the stuff that's been going on. And just a little bit of extra stress, but I have to assume that I'm healthy. I've still been prioritizing good foods, moving my body as much as I can. Sleep's one of the areas that it's been really, really challenging, but movement was really good. My average steps for that week were 9,445, which I'm, again, still impressed with, knowing that most of my days are very sedentary. So I've still been getting up, like I said, I did 5 walks, and they're all around 60 minutes, which, to start the day, move your body, get some blood flow. It's also good for my brain. I also use that time to maybe catch up on some kind of audible or something that's motivating and positive in the mornings, just to kind of set me on the right path, because typically I wake up and I have like 100 out of 100 anxiety. It's so bad. And then I really have to be so intentional about like shifting that worry, that fear, and that feeling of overwhelm to something that is a little bit more productive. Otherwise I could certainly stay stuck in that space, and I wouldn't be in a great way. So getting out and moving and walking, getting some sunlight if it's available is certainly helpful. Now, moving to the last 7 days, so this was the lead up to the actual closing of my home, and then moving, also onboarding new staff, which has been just wild. But this week was still surprisingly a good week for exercise and energy expenditure. So I only got 3 lifting sessions in last week, and they were anywhere from 75 minutes to 90 minutes, but I was dilly-dallying. It wasn't like the whole session was actually lifting. That's me taking calls, responding to emails like between sets, and then that ends up resting 5 minutes unnecessarily between a set. So they look like they're long on paper, but I was not working that whole time. But I did get some good energy expenditure in on those sessions. Coming over to my walking, I only got 4 walks in the last week. In total, I racked up with those 4 walks about 1,800 calories of energy expenditure. You can see there 1,798, shy of the week prior, which was 1,889 with 5 walks. So it's not too bad. Again, 3 of those days I was basically just moving. So here's what was super interesting. Saturday and Sunday, I recorded with my Apple Watch our move. I didn't do it for the whole lot, but on one of the days I was really intentional. Sam was like, turn your watch on, see what we do. And for 60 minutes, just moving boxes, and again, we were doing quite a bit of walking. We didn't have one of those trolleys, so we had to carry some of the really big boxes out of a storage box or a unit towards the truck. 450 calories on one of those sessions in 60 minutes. That's the same as my 75-minute lifting session. So I mean, you can look at that weekend and go, oh, what a write-off. I didn't exercise, didn't move my body. Oh, I'm gonna get fat. I hear these types of things said by clients, especially new ones, all the time. But you're still moving, you're still expending calories. Now, sure, it's not traditional in the sense that you're in the gym, doing a bicep curl, but I can tell you the amount of isometric contractions that were going down for a good 1 minute carrying something. Oh my God, it was tough. And then the same again on Saturday. I'm looking here, I tracked about 60 minutes. And again, that was just one direction. I only did half of that. So again, this was me starting my watch when we were taking things from Sam's house to the truck, and then I stopped. I didn't then measure when we got to the property and unloaded and unpacked everything. I would hate to think how many calories were expended on Sunday, because I basically got all of our house, we together collectively, got all of our house here basically set up. We just got to move a few boxes and things back down to a storage unit. So yeah, those 2 days of moving, and again, only half were tracked, clocked in about 900 calories in total. So for the week, 4,259 was my energy expenditure, and my steps were averaging 11,500. So, it's kind of felt a little bit scatty and, not very focused, if that makes sense. But, when I look at the data, I've got to be logical about it. I still had a pretty good week. And this week's weekly average body weight, although I was only on the scale once, I was at 141. So, I'm kind of just maintaining and seeing my weight fluctuate by, half a pound all the way up to maybe 2 to 3 pounds, again, depending on the week. Have I got my menstrual cycle? Did I have a couple of really solid sessions where I've got some inflammation and I'm retaining more water? Or did I have a week where I didn't get to train as much at all, and then all of that inflammation dissipates and your body water goes down? So I think a lot of people get very sensitive to little changes. And I just want to re-emphasize the importance for people who might, be seeing those types of fluctuations on the scale themselves. You have to practice downplaying that. You have to devalue the scale, because it's so normal to see a fluctuation of anywhere between 1% and 3% of your total body weight. So obviously that absolute number is going to look a little bit different from person to person. For me, 1% change is probably 1.4 pounds. But on a week where I've had really high fiber, lots of sodium, lots of hard, heavy hitting training sessions, my weight could fluctuate up to 2.8 or maybe 3.5 pounds. So it really depends, which is why we shouldn't make rush decisions to suddenly drop macros, jump back into a crash diet, just because you've had a temporary shift in body weight, which is likely due in many cases just due to some of those variables that I just described. So where to from now? Well, I'm not sure. As far as this afternoon goes, who knows? I know I've got some coaching clients I've got to check in with. But yeah, I think we've got our challenges going on, which is super exciting. We've still got some activity going on with BiaFit. I have negotiations underway, I think, with a new developing team. So I guess stay tuned for that. I am just praying and thinking about the possibility of that becoming something so much bigger than it is. It's been really tedious over the last couple of months with our existing team. So I hope that we can kind of bring something together with our training app. I guess if you've got questions about that, you're more than welcome to ask. I'm hopeful that we can find a place to kind of just finally settle, because it's just been crazy for the last 6 months, like not knowing whether my house was going to sell, moving, hurricanes. It's like, I feel like I just need the nickname Hurricane Holly. I think that'll suit. Maybe there'll be a Hurricane Holly soon. I'm watching Sam over here, just smiling at that. It's probably how I've felt being with you. Would you say that's accurate, Sam? Hurricane Holly?
Maybe tropical storm.
Tropical storm Holly. So yeah, it's been challenging, but it's up to us to direct our attitude and our thoughts. And I think so many people allow themselves to, spiral into this negative space. And I know, like, I used to do that. Just go back 2 years, as recently as 2 years, I think, in a situation like the last couple of months for me. I don't know whether I would have handled the same, but that's through a lot of like focused efforts, making sure that I remove people, individuals, anything in my life that doesn't align with my values, or I feel is overly negative, and just doesn't serve me in a positive way. And it has been extremely helpful. And I think also paying attention to the types of media that I let in, things that are very uplifting tend to be what I gravitate more towards, versus things that are negative and dark. Otherwise, it's easy to, just fall into a bit of a downer mood. And I don't have the time or the capacity, I think, at the moment to waste being in that mindset. So I listen to so many scriptures, so many motivational videos. Like, if you're in a difficult place in your life right now, whether it's relationships, whether it's family, whether it is your career, make sure that you are doing everything you can to be in the firing line of something that is positive, because you're the only person that can allow you to shift your mindset. You shouldn't be relying on other people for, your sense of happiness or your sense of purpose. It really is up to you. So, if you found yourself overly reliant on, needing attention or needing validation from other people, or needing things, like physical things, to bring you, happiness, I think those are areas where we can really radically improve. So, yeah, I don't know that I want to belabor the point too much today, but I wanted to go over my data, let you know how things are going, give you an update, and hopefully I'll be able to be active on social media over the next couple of days, just letting you know how things are going here in Tampa with the hurricanes. But the last one was absolutely devastating, and hopefully, the people here are going to come together and support one another if there is anything catastrophic, and that the community get together and hopefully can recover quickly. So yeah, I guess that's all for me, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the description, whether it's about your own training, your own nutrition goals, anything at all, you're more than welcome. I usually, when I have the capacity to sit in front of my computer, I respond to all of those questions after the end of every update. So I think that's all. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I'll see you at my next update.